I want to start by saying this. I don't know who my roommate really is. All I've been told is that she's a young woman, somewhere in her 20s. She supposedly works late-night shifts from home, sleeps during the day, and values her privacy above everything else. That was the one and only rule when I moved in. Respect her peace. Respect her privacy. And at first, it sounded simple enough. I'm a single man in my 30s. I work full-time at an office 30 miles away during the day. When I'm home at night, she's supposedly working. When I'm gone, she's supposedly asleep. I thought, perfect. We'd hardly even cross paths. But that's the thing. In over a month of living here, we've never crossed paths at all. The house itself is nice. Too nice for the price, honestly. It's an older 2-story home in a decent neighborhood. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. My roommate, Elizabeth, occupies the master bedroom upstairs. The landlord suggested I take the downstairs room. Bigger, close to the main bathroom, and most importantly, far away from her space. He told me she values silence. That was all. I thought nothing of it. In fact, I was grateful. With my poor rental history and an eviction on my record, I didn't have many options. So when the landlord didn't even bother running a background check, I signed on the spot. Looking back now, maybe I should have wondered why he was so eager to rent the room. He did mention something though, that another tenant had lived here for only 2 months, then suddenly broke the lease and left. No explanation, no notice, just gone. I should have asked more questions, but desperation makes you blind. Elizabeth, that's all I knew. Her name, her strange hours, and that she was asleep when I first toured the house. I asked if I'd get to meet her. The landlord said no. It was daytime. She was sleeping. That was it. Something about how quickly it all happened left me uneasy, but I moved in anyway. And now, after weeks here, I still haven't met her. Not once. At first, I thought maybe she stayed with a boyfriend or spent nights out with friends. Maybe she had family nearby. But no, because even though I never see her, I know she's here. I know because she moves things. I'll come home from work, walk into my room, and see my blanket missing, then find it draped across the couch, like someone used it. I'll step into the kitchen, and the dining chairs will be pulled out, sometimes all of them, arranged as if people had been sitting there together, even though I live alone, even though I never use the table. And the worst part? There's never any sound. No footsteps, no television, no water running, no doors closing, just silence. As if the house itself moved everything. I tried knocking on her door. Nothing. Not even the faint glow of a lamp under the crack. Not a single shuffle or reply. The door is always locked, not just the knob, a bolt lock. I've nudged it before she fastens it shut. I even taped a note to the door once, asking her a simple question. When I checked later, it was gone, but she never responded. That's when I started telling friends about her. Their reactions unnerved me more than the situation itself. They'd laugh nervously, say things like, "What if she's not real? What if she's a ghost?" I wouldn't laugh. And then they'd fall silent, uncomfortable, and change the subject. After a week, I stopped telling people. I even lied to coworkers, saying I'd met her, just to avoid their looks. But deep down, I feel it. Something's wrong. It isn't just the missing blankets or the chairs anymore. Sometimes I come home, and every single kitchen drawer is open. Not rifled through, not messy, just open. Some halfway, some completely. All of them, like a frozen moment in time. And every night, as I drive home from work, the same question eats at me. Will tonight be the night I finally see her? Or will it be another night of cabinets gaping open like mouths? Last night, things escalated. I was sitting on the couch, watching television. The only light in the room was the lamp behind me. Then click. Darkness. The lamp shut off. I froze, because I didn't hear anyone walk behind me. I didn't hear footsteps at all. Just the click of the switch, and then I was sitting in almost complete blackness, the television flickering faint light across the walls. My heart was pounding. I turned, and for just a split second, I saw it. A shape, a dark figure, slipping into the kitchen. I jumped up, spun around. "Elizabeth!" I called out. That's when I heard it. Fast, heavy footsteps, but not in the kitchen. Above me, upstairs, running into the very room where she's supposed to be. My blood ran cold. There was no way. What I saw move into the kitchen couldn't have reached the upstairs hallway that quickly. And yet, there it was. I locked myself in my room that night. I didn't sleep. I sat up in bed staring at the door, waiting, listening. The house was quiet, too quiet. But my mind wouldn't let me rest. Because now I have to wonder, who or what is Elizabeth? And why has no one who's lived here before lasted more than 2 months? It's been 6 weeks for me. And already, I'm reaching my limit. The landlord hasn't heard from me yet. But maybe I should call him. Maybe he knows more than he lets on. Or maybe he knows exactly what Elizabeth is. All I know is this. I don't have anywhere else to go. But tonight, for the first time since moving here, I'm considering leaving everything behind. Because I'm starting to realize this isn't just a roommate. This house is something else. And whatever lives upstairs, it isn't human. I live in an apartment with 2 of my friends. The place is inside an old house from the late 1802nd, split into separate apartments. It's the kind of place people joke about being haunted when they first move in. But honestly, for the first 5 months we lived here, nothing felt haunted at all. No weird footsteps in the night. No flickering lights. No creepy feelings. Just an old building. But now I don't even know how to explain what's happening to me. Something is wrong. So very wrong. One of my roommates, let's call her Kay, she's always been a little eccentric, aloof, off in her own world. But I've known her for years, and I know what's normal for her and what isn't. The other roommate, let's call her N. She's the organized one. She's the one who gets upset if the kitchen's messy, or if Kay leaves art supplies all over the table. And that's exactly how this started. I came out of my room one night and noticed Kay's stuff piling up everywhere, cluttered across the kitchen table. I realized I hadn't seen N all day. That was weird. Usually, she'd clean it up, or at least complain. So, I texted Kay, asking if N had gone home for a few days. No response. But Kay never texts back quickly anyway, so I didn't think much of it. Then around 10 p.m., Kay came home. She dumped her bag on the table. I went out to say hi, to ask about N. And that's when things started feeling wrong. She ignored me at first, totally blank. So I asked again, "Hey, do you know where N is?" She looked me dead in the eye. No expression. Just said, "I don't have time for this." Her voice was flat, deadpan, almost mechanical. Then she slammed her bedroom door shut. I stood there frozen. That was not her. That was not how Kay acted. I started to feel anxious, uneasy. Something in my chest told me I shouldn't push her. So I backed off, went back to my room. I texted N myself. Still, no reply. About an hour later, I heard Kay in the kitchen. Dishes clinking, water running. Normal sounds. But then, knocking on my door. I opened it, and there she was, but not how I expected. She wasn't at my door. She was across the table, by the sink, just standing there, staring. I said, "Hey, you knocked?" Nothing. No response. She didn't move, didn't blink. I asked, "Are you mad at me?" Nothing. The silence was unbearable. So I walked around the table toward her. And then, she whipped her head toward me so fast it made my stomach drop. "Go to bed." Same deadpan voice as before. Sharp, loud, unnatural. It startled me so badly, I just obeyed, locked my door. That's when I realized something was terribly, terribly wrong with her. I messaged my friend Jay, someone who knows Kay well, told him what happened. He said, "Yeah, that's really weird. Keep me updated." I tried to distract myself, watched YouTube until 3 the morning. That's when I heard them. Voices. At first it was just Kay, whispering, loudly. Then, both of them, but not speaking English. Not speaking anything I recognized. It was gibberish. Strange, broken syllables, harsh whispers. And then, the laughter. Not their laughs, not human laughs. Throaty, choked, grotesque. I froze in place, listening. Then came the sound that made my blood run cold. One of them let out this high-pitched vocal wail that dipped into a guttural, inhuman low tone. And the other one harmonized with it, together. Then the laughter again. I wanted to cover my ears. But then, scratching. Sharp, rapid scratching on the table, pens, nails, claws. I couldn't tell. And then a yell. A guttural word, 3 or 4 syllables long. Not English, not anything. Then, silence. I stayed frozen in my room, couldn't move. But after a while, the scratching came back. Louder, more frantic, scraping deep into the wood, grunting, snarling. Then, silence again. I must have blacked out from exhaustion. When I woke up the next morning, I thought maybe it was just my imagination, stress, lack of sleep. But when I opened my door, I saw them. Deep scratches in the wood of the table, fresh, real. I leaned in closer, took out my phone to take a picture. And that's when I felt it. A searing pain in my shin. I stumbled back, looked down, and under the table was Kay, on all fours, crawling, her face staring up at me, her teeth sinking into my leg. I almost collapsed. I stumbled backwards, slipping on my shoes, never looking away. My heart was hammering in my chest. And then she started moving, crawling toward me, fast, too fast. I flung open the door and bolted outside, slamming it behind me. I ran until I reached the campus nearby, where people were around. I sat in the grass, shaking, and finally rolled up my pant leg. The bite was there, a full human bite mark, right through the denim. Bloodied, bruised, real. I wasn't imagining this. I tried to calm myself, but then I saw him, a student, swaying on his feet nearby, just staring at me, his lips moving, whispering, but I couldn't hear the words. Didn't need to. I knew. It was the same gibberish I'd heard last night. I ran again. I ended up in the library, tried to calm down, told myself I was hallucinating, stress, sleep deprivation. Then my phone rang. It was my mom. I answered, but instead of her voice, all I heard was scratching, like nails tearing across wood. I hung up and broke down, sobbing into the phone as I called Jay. Please, please come get me. He didn't even ask questions, just said, "Stay where you are. I'm coming." I waited in the grass, tried to steady my breathing, but the ground was vibrating. And when I put my ear to it, I swear I heard something huge, moving beneath the surface. A distant groaning, like the earth itself was alive. I told myself it was in my head, that I was imagining it. But deep down, I knew better. When Jay arrived, I felt relief, safe, until I saw the sky. Black clouds swirling unnaturally, shadows sliding across the horizon like massive shapes moving in the atmosphere. Jay noticed it too. He didn't want to look at it for long. He pulled away, drove us out. But I couldn't shake the feeling that it was all connected. The whispers, the scratching, the bite, the sky. At his house, I thought I was safe. We put on some television, tried to laugh, tried to forget. But then I started whispering, repeating those same syllables I'd heard in the kitchen, over and over, until Jay noticed. He asked me to stop. His voice was scared. I told him I didn't know what I was saying, but I couldn't stop smiling. And then outside, a sound. Something massive, like the roar of something too big for this world. I laughed. I couldn't help it. I laughed until my stomach hurt, and Jay looked at me with horror in his eyes. I don't know what came over me, but I lunged at him. I bit his shoulder, hard, and then I crawled under his bed, where I am now, typing this, whispering, smiling, and I think, maybe it's my turn. Maybe it's my turn to pass it on. Maybe I'll bite him again. Maybe I'll bite you.